This class is circles, spirals and twists. So just celebrating all the different ways that your body can move and just really emphasising those movements, emphasising those shapes and hopefully leaving you feeling really, really good. We're going to start standing. So come up onto your feet with your feet about a hip distance apart. Okay, and then just back your way up through your heels. Just allowing your body to settle here. So maybe spreading your toes and really anchoring your feet down into the ground. Let your arms just relax down by your sides. And let's just take a few breaths here. Just again, grounding ourselves, settling ourselves here. 3 deep breaths. This time on your inhale, we're going to open the arms out, reaching your arms up towards the sky. As you bring your hands together overhead, we're going to allow the fingertips to just touch as you start to bend your elbows and slowly float the hands down, palms facing down. We're going to do this with our breath. Let's do it again. Inhale as you open out, palms meet overhead, and then allow the palms to part, fingertips just touch, and exhaling as you press all the way down. Let's just go with the flow of your breath. Just allowing those arms to float down. Two more. One more time here. And then just releasing those arms down by your sides. We're going to take one leg back and tuck your toes under like you're going to do the top of the foot stretch, so trying to get your toenails down on the floor. And then we're going to circle that leg around. So don't worry too much about it because we want these movements to just kind of be really soft and relaxed. And then can you circle and go the other way? Try it on the other side. So again, taking that leg back, tucking your toes under so your toenails are on the floor, and then just trying to circle that leg around. Again, don't worry about whether you're doing it right, just move. And then let's reverse and go the other way. Really good, alright, and then coming back to standing. Head circles this time, really slow, really controlled, do what feels good to you. I'm going to drop my ear down towards my shoulder first, then chin comes down towards my chest, circling my head over to the other side, ear towards the shoulder, and then I'm going to start to lead with my chin. So I'm going to lift my chin up now, up towards the ceiling, up and overhead. Imagine that I'm drawing a rainbow overhead with my chin, and then coming back to that start position. Just go to where it feels okay. Don't force anything, don't just drop your head back. All the time we're thinking about length, we're thinking about space. Let your shoulders relax down. Nice deep breaths. And then maybe as you get back to your start position this time, let's reverse and go the other way. Now obviously if this makes you feel a little bit dizzy, you don't have to do it, you can make the circles super small. Always in tune with what feels good for you right now. So we do one more circle. And then as you come back in through centre this time, bringing your head back up. Shoulder circles now. Let your arms just be floppy and let's get as much movement through our shoulder blades here as we possibly can. Really milking that movement. Can you reverse, go the other way? Again, really circle. Can you feel those shoulder blades moving on your back? Interlacing your fingers now, turn your hands over and press your palms down towards the floor and hold here for a couple of breaths. Just releasing that little hand stretch, and then let's press forwards, pressing your palms towards me. Notice if your fingers are trying to split. Try and keep the fingers tightly knitted together and pulling your thumbs away from the rest of the fingers. Let your shoulders relax here, and again, a couple of breaths. Okay, just releasing that stretch. Let's take those hands up and overhead. Only take them as high as you can keep those ribs down. So if your ribs are starting to lift, bring your hands down a little bit. Pressing into those hands, take a couple of breaths here. And then just release those hands and circle them down towards your sides. Let's step those feet wide now. Okay, so we've got wide feet, but our toes are still pointing forwards. We haven't turned them out. We're going to interlace our fingers again, and we're going to take the hands up and overhead. Now I want you to shift your weight to one side, so shifting your hips to one side, and then we're going to lift the opposite heel. And we're going to take it over into a side bend, so grow tall, and we're going to take it over towards the side that the heel is lifted, and then look down towards that foot. Can you hold here for a breath? Breath in again, and as you exhale, let's come back up through centre and release the hands down, lowering that foot down. Shift your hips to the other side, lifting that other heel, reach those hands tall again, and let's take it over into a side bend on this side. Again, looking down towards that foot where the heel is lifted, holding for a couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, let's come all the way back up, release the foot down, release the hands, and come all the way down. Little shoulder roll, little head turns, just a little release there for you. Interlacing those fingers again, and can you just do little wriggly wrists, little wriggles. And if you've been kind of going in a circle, can you reverse it and go the other way maybe? Just moving around. Alright, and then again just letting that go, little shoulder circles. Bring your feet back in, so we're back to about hip distance apart. We're going to have soft elbows now. Let's have the palms facing up towards the ceiling. This is a really nice little wrist stretch. So you have a nice soft hand, letting your fingers just gently cup. Imagine that you're balancing a little egg in the palm of your hand. As you inhale, we're going to start to turn the hands in, bringing your little fingers in towards your waist. And as you bring that little finger in towards your waist, you'll get a stretch through your wrist, through the back of your hand. And then we're going to release the hands, turn the palms over, and then exhale and press the hands down towards the floor. We're going to do this a few times, so don't worry too much about the breath. Arms up, palms up, inhale. Again, we're going to bring those little fingers in towards our waist, getting that stretch, kind of turning your hand in as much as you can, and then exhale, release, and press. When you're ready, inhale again, getting that wrist stretch, and you can hold here if you're enjoying that stretch, if that feels really nice to your wrist, you can hold for a couple of breaths here, and then when you're ready, on your exhale, pressing the hands down. Let's do one more time. Turning the hands in, getting that little finger towards your waist. And as you exhale, pressing into the palms and press the hands all the way down towards the floor. Stepping your feet just a little bit wider than hip width now. We're going to just do some hip circles. So shift your hips all the way to one side. And then shift your hips forward. Really bring those hip bones as far forwards as you can. Shift your hip to the other side and then take it back. Let's do really big, exaggerated circles here. Imagine that you've got a hula hoop and you're really trying to circle that hula hoop as far around as you can. Feel how it stretches to the front of your hips as you bring your hips forwards. Feels really good into those hip joints. Can you reverse that circle, go the other way? Maybe. Is your brain a little bit challenged with reversing today? We all have those days sometimes. feeling that really delicious stretch through the front of your hip. Feeling your weight transferring through your feet. And as you come back in through centre this time, we're going to bring our feet together now. And we're going to do a little bend of the knees. Rest your hands just above your knees. I'm going to circle the knees around. Can you do little circles here? So I'm kind of bending and straightening my knees a little bit as I circle my knees around. And again, don't worry about doing it wrong. We're just moving. Can you reverse, go the other way, move, circle. Good job. All right, coming up, let's take those feet back to hip distance apart. We're going to do some heel raises. As you inhale, float up onto the balls of your feet. Try and keep those ankles nice and still, and then lowering down with control. Let's add some arms. Inhale, float your arms up as you lift onto the balls of your feet. Circle the arms out and exhale, lowering your heels as you lower your hands. Let's go. Moving with your breath. Let's reverse the arm circle this time. So as you rise up, open out, reaching up towards the ceiling, and exhale, floating those hands down to the front. 2 more. Last one here. And lowering all the way down. We're going to come down onto our hands and knees next. So when you're ready, meet me down on the floor. So onto your hands and knees, fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. We're going to do our little shoulder circles again here. So think about your shoulder blade on your back and see if you can do some shoulder circles here. If you've managed to circle in one direction, can you reverse and go the other way? And again, sometimes it's more of a brain challenge than a body challenge. Alright, hold in there. Just move your body around now. Maybe you want to do some little side to side waggling. Maybe you want to do some little cat and cow. Maybe that little skipping rope exercise where we imagine that our spine is like a skipping rope and we're circling it around. Just any movement here that just feels good to you. Let your head just hang. Good job. And then take your bottom back towards your heels into child's pose, reaching your arms forwards and allowing your body to release down towards the floor for 3 deep breaths. We're going to come back up onto all fours now, so when you're ready, back onto your hands and knees again, fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits are forwards. Let's do our thread the needle here, so taking one hand, palm faces up as you thread it behind your opposite wrist, twisting your upper body around. Maybe you can bring your shoulder and your ear down towards the floor. You can always grab a cushion under your head if you need to. And we're going to hold here for a few breaths. Now, if you don't need this supporting hand, you can reach that arm forwards to give you even more of a stretch through your upper back and shoulders. Holding here. We're going to slide that supporting hand back in. And we're going to come up and out of our little twist here. We're going to keep twisting our body. And we're going to take that arm now all the way up to point towards the ceiling, looking up towards that hand. We're not going to hold here for long. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's take that hand back down. Again, we're going to thread the needle again. This time it's going to go just in front of your knee. We just change the shape of the stretch a little bit. Again, just coming down to your maximum position that feels okay. If you don't need that hand to hold you, reach the arm forwards to give you even more of a delicious stretch through your upper back and shoulders. 3 deep breaths. When you're ready, slide that hand in again. We're going to open out, reaching up towards the ceiling, looking up towards your hand, not holding for long. Take a breath. And as you exhale, let's bring that hand down again. Again, passing just behind your wrist, but pointing diagonally up and forwards this time. As you twist, and again, just changing that shape just a little bit. Reaching that arm forwards and holding here. Slide the hand in. Let's open out one last time on this side. Reach. Looking up towards your hand. And then as you exhale, placing that hand down. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. When you're ready, palm faces up towards the ceiling. Threads behind your opposite wrist, twisting your body around, bringing your ear and your shoulder as close to the floor as you can. If you don't need that supporting arm, it can reach forwards. And hold again here for a few breaths. When you're ready, slide the hand in. And again, we're going to open out, twisting our upper body as we reach the hand up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards your hand just for a breath. As you exhale, bring the hand down. It's going to pass just in front of your knee. As again, we've just changed the geometry of your body just a little bit to give you a slightly different stretch. When you're ready, open out. I didn't even reach my arm forwards for that time. I was just enjoying the stretch so much. Last time, we're going to bring that hand through. Again, passing just behind your wrist. Arms reaching forwards diagonally as you twist around. Again, here if you want to, you can reach that arm forwards. Or if you were lost in the stretch and enjoying it like I was last time, you can keep it where it is. And then bringing that supporting hand in and opening out for that last time. Up. And then place your hand back down. Little cat and cow now. Rolling through your spine, making your back as rounded as you can. And then rolling the other way and making it as arched as you can. Just rolling between those 2 points. As far as feels good to you. And then as you come through centre this time, we're going to take our bottom back towards our heels, back into child's pose, into your rest position, and allow your body to just relax down towards the floor. Walking your fingertips as far forwards as you can to give you that lovely big stretch. 3 breaths. And then slowly coming up and out of that. We're going to go over onto our back now, so when you're ready, lay yourself down. Knees bent, feet flat. And then take your feet to the edges of your mat, so your feet and knees are wide. Take your arms out to that T position, or you can take them overhead if you prefer, but keeping those ribs relaxed and down. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, allow both knees to roll gently to one side. Inhaling as you come through centre and exhale over to the other side. Let's just go nice and slow with the speed of your breath. And maybe it feels good to you to let your head roll the opposite way to your knees. Or you can keep your head in centre. Just do what feels right for you. As your knees roll to one side this time, I'm going to keep them to one side. So just kind of let them go as far as feels okay. Now if you want to add a little bit more stretch, and go gentle with this. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. But the bottom leg, the leg that's closest towards the floor, we're going to lift that foot and we're going to cross that ankle over your opposite knee. So it's like a number 4 stretch, and then letting your knee drop down towards the floor. Now if that bothers your knees, don't do it. Just allow that foot to come back down and stay in that windscreen wiper position. But if it feels good to you and you want to take it to that little number 4 stretch, then try that here. And again, we're just going to hold for a few breaths. a little bit extra for your arms. So if your arms are up and overhead, straighten those arms out a little bit. Whichever leg has gone across, we're going to use that same side hand to grab the opposite arm to give that wrist a little pull, to give you a little bit of a stretch. Again, ribs stay down, and if it feels too much, just let your arms go where they need to go. But we're going to hold for a couple more breaths here. And then just releasing your hands. Release that foot back down towards the floor. And we're going to roll our legs up and over to the other side. Again, just allowing your legs to stay to that one side. And maybe that's enough for you. If you want to see how it feels in the number 4 stretch on this side, again, picking up your bottom leg, so the leg that's closest to the floor, and crossing that ankle over your top knee and letting that knee drop down towards the floor. Stay there if that feels okay. Again, just be mindful of the position of your knees. If it pulls on your inside of your knee, then just let that leg come back down to the floor and just stay there. Sometimes adding a little bit more load doesn't always feel right for you in the now. Doesn't mean it will always be like that. That's why you've always got to just be checking in. And again, whichever leg has come across, that same side hand is going to grab hold of the other wrist and just give it a little pull, just to give you that little bit more stretch. When you're ready, release the hands, release the foot back down to the floor, and roll your knees back in through centre. Let's just do a couple of windscreen wiper legs here, just to release off those hips and just move. Just move. As your knees come in through centre this time, picking up your knees, give your knees a little hug, and let's just roll our spine into the floor. A little release for your lower back. I want you to hold behind your knees. And we're going to take those knees and feet to hip width apart, and then flexing your feet and pulling your knees in towards your chest. A little stretch here, so getting deep into that hip. And you take the soles of your feet towards the ceiling, a little bit of a happy baby position. We're pulling the thighs really close into our chest now, trying to get those shins as vertical as possible. Point and flex your feet here a little bit. Alright, and then hold in here. Can you straighten one leg out long, and we're going to bend the other knee, pulling that knee in towards you. It's almost like you're doing a little tree stretch. You're trying to bring the sole of the foot towards the other thigh. Or if you're familiar with the stag stretch, it's a little bit like the stag stretch. And then we're going to switch sides, so we're bending one leg, straightening the other leg out. Now you can hold onto those knees just to give them a little bit of support, or you can just let your hands come down to the floor as you reach one leg in and one leg out. Sometimes it's called a Peter Pan stretch or a stag stretch. And just going between those two legs as feels okay. Kind of nice. And then as you take your leg out this time, hold it there. Can you point and flex your foot again here, the one that's out long? How about circling at your ankle? And then can you reverse and circle the other way? I'm going to switch sides now, so switching legs. Again, let's point and flex our foot here. And then let's again do our circles. Can you reverse, go the other way? And then bend in both knees in. Take hold of your knees again, and let's just rock gently from side to side. So staying on our back, we're going to play with the legs and the arms a little bit here. So releasing those legs, let's take the legs up towards the ceiling, they can be bent. We're going to do little bicycle legs here, so can you start to just bicycle those legs? You can go small, you can go big, just as far as feels good to you, but make it feel good. Alright, to get a little bit weird, we're going to add some arms. We're going to do bicycle arms, or like cat pedals they call it. So circling your arms and your legs. Alright, can you reverse? Is that going a little bit far? Really good. And then pause. Arms and legs are reaching up towards the ceiling. You can have a bent leg. We're going to circle our wrists and our ankles at the same time. Again, a little brain challenge for you. Can you circle the other way? And then just kick your arms and your legs up towards the ceiling. Give everything a good shake out. And then just give your knees a little hug again here. We're going to go onto our side next. So when you're ready, rolling onto your side. So line yourself up with the back edge of your mat so that your shoulder and your hip are on that back edge, and then kicking your legs forwards towards the front. Reaching out long through both legs so that you've got length through your waist, and making sure that your pelvis is stacked so that hip bone is on top of hip bone. Reach that leg long, let's do some circles. Keep reaching as you circle that leg around. And then reverse, go the other way, keep reaching, keep that length. We're going to take it into bicycle now, so bring that leg forwards, bend the knee, take the knee back, release and come forwards. Making that as smooth as you can. And then we're going to reverse and go the other way, so kicking the leg back first. Again, just let it flow. One more time. And then as your leg comes level with the other leg this time, we're going to take it into devil pay. So we're going to point the toes of the top leg. We're going to slide those toes all the way up as high as you can on that bottom leg. Bring it as high as you can, getting really into the hip. And then straighten that leg up towards the ceiling. Flexing your foot, so leading with your heel as you bring that leg all the way back down. Do it again, point the toes, slide it up as high as you can. Straighten the leg to the ceiling, flex your foot and lower all the way down. Let's do two more. And then we're going to reverse. So keeping that foot flat, that foot flex, kick your toes up towards the ceiling, then point the toes. Bring that foot as high as you can, get it as high on that bottom leg as you can, and then slide it out long. Flex to kick it up, point your toes, bring it in, slide it out. Two more. Last one here. And as you lengthen that leg out long this time, just lower it all the way down, a little stretch for your hip. And then we're going to come up to seated and give it a stretch out. So come up, bringing your leg in, cross it over the other side and sit as tall as you can. We're going to twist towards that bent leg, letting your hands just come down to rest wherever they reach. Still staying nice and tall and twisted through your body. Looking over that back shoulder to really twist your whole torso. Let's take a couple of breaths here, letting your body settle. And then either choosing to keep that front leg out long, or you can bend that bottom leg and bring the foot around so that you're really in an even deeper hip twist, stretch. A couple more breaths here. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So coming onto your side again. Line yourself up with your mat again, shoulder and hips, look back edge, and then kick those legs forwards to the front edge, making sure again that your pelvis is stacked, hip on top of hip, reaching out through those legs, and let's do some circles here, keep reaching. and you reverse, go the other way, keep reaching. Are you ready for bicycle? Kick that leg forwards, bend it in, take the knee back, release the leg line, come through. Again, don't worry about what it looks like, just move. Stretch it out, feel good. And then when you're ready, reverse it, kicking it back first. You can make the movement as big or as small as you like. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. Last one. And as those legs are level, lower the leg down, a little stretch. And we're going to come up to seated, and again, stretch out here. The leg you've just been working, bring it in. Cross it over and sit tall, twisting towards that bent leg, and using that front arm to scoop it in, sit tall. 3 breaths. So good. And remember, if you want to, you can bend that front leg and bring it around to give you an even deeper stretch, but don't force anything. Turning your head as far as you can as well, just to really give you that good stretch. And then when you're ready, we're going to release the head, release the arms, and we're going to go back down onto our floor and onto our back. So when you're ready, come down. Now, press into your feet, lift your bottom up off the floor and shift your hips to the right, just a few inches. And then we're going to straighten out our left leg, bring your right leg into tabletop, and we're going to roll all the way over to bring this knee down to the floor. So you're rolling onto your left side and bringing your knee down onto the floor. That bottom arm can come around to cradle your head, and just make sure that you feel comfortable here. You can always grab a cushion for your head if you prefer. Now we've got our left leg out long, and I want you to push out through that heel, so like you're standing on that heel. So rather than that leg just kind of being all floppy, it's active, it's pushing away. And then reach your right arm to the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide. Let's just twist that arm, turning it in and out here a few times. And then turning it in that out position, reach the arm long, reach towards the ceiling as much as you can. Keeping those fingers spread wide, let's start to take that arm overhead. Bringing your thumb down towards the floor, just take it as far as it will go without the rib cage lifting. So notice whether you're having to like lift and those ribs are coming up. And then just hold it here. And then bring that arm back up towards the ceiling, keeping your fingers spread. Again, taking your arm overhead, bringing the thumb down towards the floor, keeping the ribs down. Let's just do a few of these, little arm overhead. As your arm comes up towards the ceiling this time, hold it there. Let's again twist in and out a few times. And then again, we're going to keep it in that turned out position. We're going to take that arm out back behind us. Now you can allow your upper body to twist as well. Just don't let that knee come up off the floor. So the knee's going to stay down. Doesn't matter if your shoulder doesn't reach the floor. Just go to where you are as long as your knee's down and you've got a little bit of anchor, a little bit of support. And we're going to move that arm around. Bring it up towards your head, down towards your hip. Just playing around with that movement. And then when you're ready, bringing that arm back up towards the ceiling again, and then just gently releasing that arm all the way down. Roll yourself onto your back. Bring your knees to your chest. Just give your back a little reset before we do the same on the other side. And place your feet back down onto the floor. Again, pushing into your heels, lifting your hips, and shift your hips to the left this time, a couple of inches. Straighten out your right leg. Left leg comes to tabletop, and we're going to roll over to bring that knee down towards the floor. Push that through that heel like we're standing on that leg. And then your bottom arm can come around to cradle your head. Again, just making sure that you feel comfortable in this position. Remember, you can always use a cushion if you need to. And then let's take that arm up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide. And again, let's turn the arm in and out. Keeping your fingers spread, keeping that arm in that turned out position. Let's start to take that arm overhead. Again, bringing your thumb down towards the floor and then back up towards the ceiling. Just as far as feels okay for you. And then as your hand comes up towards the ceiling this time, again, let's turn it in and out a little bit. Keeping in that turned out position, again taking that arm back behind you, so you can just take the arm back, or you can allow your upper body to twist a little bit too, but keep your knee down on the floor. And then again, let's move that arm around here. Doesn't matter if you don't get your arm to the floor, it's more important that that knee stays down and we're just moving. So you might feel like a really nice stretch through your shoulder, your chest, your upper arm. And it might be completely different on this side compared to the other. When you're ready, reach that arm up towards the ceiling again, and then just gently relaxing that arm down. Roll yourself onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest, give your knees a little hug, and just rock gently side to side. We're going to release the feet back down onto the floor now. Feet and knees are hip width apart, and we're going to keep these super still now. So imagine that you're kind of encased in some concrete, so nothing is going to move in your lower body. We're going to take our arms out to a T position, palms are facing up. We're going to take our right hand, we're going to start to reach that right hand up. It's going to come up and overhead like you're trying to close that crocodile mouth. You're going to allow your upper body to twist, your lower body's going to stay super still, and you're going to bring your right hand as close to that left hand as you can. When you're ready, we're going to start to open that arm back out again, up towards the ceiling, and all the way back down to the floor. And we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to start to reach the left arm. It's going to come up. You're going to allow your upper body to twist away from the floor, but keep your lower body super still, reaching that arm as far as it will go. And when you're ready, start to open out again. Just move nice and slow, as feels okay for you. Really nice stretch through your upper back and shoulders. Let's do one more on each side. And as your arm comes down to the floor this time, stay here. Sliding your hands down towards your hips now, and turn the hands over so the palms are facing down. We're going to do some spine curls now. So if you have got anything under your head, just pop that out for this next exercise. Take a breath in. Tilt your pelvis towards you, and as you exhale, you're going to peel your hips up away from the floor, rolling up towards the ceiling. Pausing when you get to the top, take a breath in and then exhale and roll your spine back down, melting down into the floor, super slow. We're going to do that a few times, so feel free to play around with the position of your legs. So the closer your heels are to your bottom, the more you're going to be working your glutes and hamstrings. But if that feels like there's too much tightness and compression, you can take them a little bit further away, so feel free to play around with this. Moving on your exhale, tilting your pelvis and rolling. Again, we're just looking for that flow. We're looking for that movement to just be soft, gentle, not forced. This time, as you roll your body back down to the floor, we're going to stay down. So we're going to roll up and down on either side of the spine now. So rather than being on the centre, we're going to be slightly to the right and slightly to the left. So before we roll up, we're going to tilt our pelvis to the right so that your left butt cheek is just hovering off the floor. So we're slightly to the right of the spine. Tilt your pelvis towards you and roll up that right side.
Pausing when you get to the top. You're going to level out your body and tilt the other way. So now you're going to roll down on the left side of your spine, all the way down. Once you get down, just level out again and then tilt to the left. You're going to roll up the left side this time. Rolling up to the left of your spine. Pausing at the top, level out. Tilt and roll down the right side. Just go at your own pace, level at the bottom. Tilt right, roll up the right. Level at the top, tilt left, roll down through the left. Level at the bottom, tilt left, rolling up that left. Level out, tilt right and roll down that right side. When you get to the bottom, level out and then bring your knees into your chest, give your knees a little hug and let's just rock gently side to side. Grab your strap and let's do the strap stretch next.
Okay, so grab your strap and then we're going to lie down on our back again.
So popping the strap around your foot with the base of your toes and have that leg out long and then straighten your other leg out long as well. Pushing out through both heels and trying to find that neutral pelvis. So notice whether that pelvis is tipped back, and if it has, let that leg come a little bit lower to find that neutral pelvis. And hopefully the back of this free leg is touching the floor as well. And we're just going to hold here for a couple of breaths. And while you do, just notice if you're gripping and creating tension anywhere. So checking in with your face, your jaw, your neck and shoulders, and just let everything be as soft as you can. And then we're going to do leg circles with this leg that's in the strap. So bring the leg across, circle the leg down, around and back up. And we're just going to do 5 little circles in each direction, trying to keep your body super still so that it's just the leg that's circling and not your whole body having to go with it, yeah? But don't worry too much. We want this to be soft and relaxed. And then we're going to reverse and go the other way. When you've done your 5 in each direction, we're going to let this leg come across the midline and just hold it here. Now, whichever way your leg is coming across, you're going to take the opposite arm out into that T position to stabilise and for stability. And then if it feels okay, we're going to let that leg come all the way across, let your hip lift to bring that leg down towards the floor. Now your shoulder blade might have lifted, so you're just going to keep opening that arm out into that T position and letting your body be as soft and relaxed as possible. Notice again whether this bottom leg is kind of all crumpled up. Can you push out through that heel, making that leg nice and strong and stable, and hold here for a few breaths. We're going to roll back onto our back now, so bringing that leg back up towards the ceiling, and we're going to pop the other leg in the strap this time, so switch your legs. Both legs as straight as you can, pushing out through your heel, pulling the front of the foot towards you, and again just looking for that softness throughout your body and making sure that your pelvis is in as neutral a position as possible here. And do those circles again. So when you're ready, let's just do 5 circles in each direction. Trying to keep your pelvis as still as you can. Again, make the circle as big or as small as you like. When you've done your circles in each direction, you're just going to come back in through centre. And again, just bring that leg across your body a little way first. See how it feels, and if you're happy to proceed, whichever way your leg has gone, opposite arm is going to open out to that T position for stability, and then you're going to bring that leg across, let that leg come down towards the floor. Remember, you're not forcing anything, you're just going to where it feels okay for you. We're opening and allowing our upper body to roll open. A few breaths here. And then when you're ready, rolling back onto your back, bringing that leg back up towards the ceiling, and then bending it in, getting rid of your strap. Lengthen your legs out long, reach your arms overhead and stretch from fingertips to toes, making yourself as long as you can. Circling your arms out to the sides, bending those knees in, give your knees a little hug. One hand on the top of each knee as you open the knees wide and circle around. Can you reverse, go the other way? And then we're going to come on up to seated. So take your time. We're coming up to find a seated position. And you are very welcome to grab yourself a cushion or a block or something to sit on if you need something. And we're going to take our legs out wide. Now if you're really tight through your hamstrings and this isn't a happy place for you, you can have a little bend in the knees, or like I say, you can grab a cushion to give you that little bit more lift. And then we're just going to kind of settle here, so let your body just settle, maybe just shift around a little bit here. Find your sit bones, seeing if you can sit tall. Alright, and then once you're happy, we're going to do a little side bend here, okay? So we're going to have one hand down on our leg, we're going to take the other arm up towards the ceiling, inhale and grow tall. As you exhale, we're going to slide that hand down along your leg as you reach that other arm up and over. We still want length, so we're not collapsing and slumping down, we're still trying to find lift and opening through the side body. Inhale as that arm comes up, windmill the arms up and over, and exhale, take it over to the other side. Again, on your inhale, let's come up and over, and let's just go a few times to each side, just as far as feels okay for you. And then whichever side you're going to this time, hold it there. We're going to add a little bit of rotation, so we're going to look down towards the floor, and then we're going to look up towards the ceiling, twisting that upper body down towards the floor, up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more time. And looking up, back into that side bend position, and let's go up and over to the other side. Take it into that side bend. Again, twisting your upper body, looking down towards the floor, and then up towards the ceiling, and down to the floor, and up to the ceiling. One last time. Staying in that side bend position and coming up and all the way down. Bringing those legs in. Let's just roll those legs in and out a few times. A little bit of movement there into your hip joint. And then we're going to cross our legs as best you can. Again, let's just take a moment to settle here. So maybe just shifting side to side, making sure that you're happy here. And then we're going to start to circle our body around. Can you circle your body around here? And then start to think about arching and rounding your spine. So a little bit like a cat-cow. Or when we're on all fours and we kind of move our spine around in all directions. Can you find that? So as I circle around, I'm kind of arching and then rounding. And then reverse. Can you go the other way? Again, it's just getting as much movement here as you can. How about if you cross your legs over the other way? And again, can you find that spinal movement here? That circle in, maybe go the other way. Let's find that 90-90 leg position. So one leg in front and one leg behind. Leaning back, place your hands down on the floor. Pivot onto the soles of your feet
and then roll into the other side. And we're going to just go from side to side, using your hands as much as you need to, but if you don't need them, take them off the floor, and then it's a little bit more of a core exercise, having to use your abdominals to support you here. If you're walking off your mat, come back in through centre. We're going to add a reach this time, so as your legs go to one side, whichever way your feet are pointed, we're going to reach the opposite way and really stretch so your other hand can come down to the floor. And then we're going to go the other way. And again, whichever way your feet are pointing, you're reaching the way. Think about spiralling through your body. Twisting and reaching. Last time. And then just coming back in through centre. Just find a position that works for you, whether it's cross-legged or legs down. We're just going to be here for a moment. Allow your body to settle, and let's just do some shoulder rolls here. And reverse, go the other way. Gently turning your head side to side. And you are